Welcome back to the mixtape. We're getting all deep and serious here with Lowkey. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So you went over to Gaza recently?
Well, we got into Gaza briefly in last year. I went to the West Bank recently, about 2 months ago, which is the other side of Palestine.
And what were you doing over there?
We organised a tour with an organisation called Existence is Resistance. And in the West Bank is different from Gaza in that Gaza is under siege and is being completely isolated, not only diplomatically, but in every possible way they're trying to isolate that piece of land. The West Bank is different. It's being occupied by the Israeli army. And it's also having illegal settlements built on it every single day. There's about 500,000 illegal Israeli settlers in the West Bank who are armed. And the indigenous population, the Palestinians, their existence is under threat. So that's why this organisation called Existence is Resistance was founded, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I travelled over there with M1 from Dead Prez, a few other people as well, and we just did a tour. We did about 6 or 7 shows over there in the space of about a week or 2.
So you're on stage rapping? And
Yeah.
Okay, and what kind of response do you get from people?
Fantastic. Really good response, because I think ultimately people that are living under occupation need as much to feel happy about and as much to express themselves as possible. And I think hip-hop is a very good avenue and platform for them to express themselves. So there's a lot of people rapping over there and stuff.
Okay, moving on to your album. Now, I've been chasing this guy for a long time, right? A lot of phone calls and like, Amy, yeah, I'm just in the studio, I'm working hard. Tell me about this album now.
Well, I haven't actually finished it yet, in all honesty. I'm still working on it, but yeah, it includes some of the tracks that I've been putting out pretty much since 2009. So all of my better known tracks are on there.
Features?
Features Immortal Technique, Kalashnikov, May Khalil. It features a bunch of people that I like and respect. M1 from Dead Prez.
So on the UK scene, who would you say is doing well, in your opinion, or who would you rate, in your opinion?
Who would I rate? There's so many, man. There's so many artists.
To name a few.
In which way rate them? Rate them in terms of as lyricists, or in terms of musical output, in terms of just...
Let's go lyricists, because...
Lyricists, a guy called Mike Righteous, a guy called Dream McLean, Akala, Kalashnikov, so many lyricists. One thing that I have to say is the caliber of lyricists, even in the quote-unquote mainstream sphere, or whatever you want to call it now, is so much higher than it's been for years. People are having to prove themselves as lyricists, which is good.
Because, you know, the UK, it's taken a while for people to notice what we can do, you know, musically.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's taken so long?
It's a matter of us having faith in ourselves. I think that for too long we've been imitating somebody else, and no one wants to buy a cheap imitation of something. It's like these what they call R&B artists that come out now singing in these fake American accents from here. No, Boys to Men. I want to hear Boys to Men. I don't want to hear some guy from wherever that's around the corner from me singing like an American. Look how big America is. There's different accents in different places, but it's like your mind is so colonized and so culturally affected that you have to sing an American accent. Who made that rule? Who said you had to do that? If you're an R&B singer, that you have to sing an American accent?
So they obviously feel they have to do that.
Why? Why?
Because this works for other people.
Yeah, but you see, it works for people that are actually American. One of the things about somebody like, you know, the people, you have to look at the people that like drastically changed the music industry. The music industry didn't change because a record executive or an A&R or a CEO said it made it change. It changed because of artists. It changed because of people like, I mean, Eminem actually is a good example, because he's somebody that was completely an exception to the rule of what white rappers were meant to be. Prior to Eminem, the last white rapper was Vanilla Ice. and he was a complete laughing stock.
True.
And so after that, the labels stayed a million miles away from any white rappers. But what happened was you have, it wasn't a label that took it upon themselves to sign Eminem. He would have tried to shop himself to them and they would have known who he was, but they didn't take the risk to sign him. It was an artist. It was Dr. Dre that took the risk to sign him. And I'll tell you why this is. Because the people who ultimately profit off the music industry view everything, because they're businessmen. Really, they're businessmen. They might have tried and failed to be musicians, the majority of the people in the music industry, but they are not musicians or artists. They are businessmen. So they think of everything in terms of a formula. So me and you are not the people we are. We are formulas. Everything from the colour of your hair to the colour of your eyes,
like, does it work
to your height.
Exactly.
And they'll try and replicate it, which is the stupidest thing in the world. They see something is successful, they try and replicate it, like with Eminem. Every white, remotely hip-hop artist that came out after Eminem was the next Eminem. No, they weren't.
It kind of makes sense, though, because look at when Eminem came out, look at how much attention he got just for the lyrics, the content of his music.
And
it's like,
he changed the game.
And everyone was making that point, but it's like, people have been doing that, but he's just a white rapper that's doing it. But they kept pinpointing him.
No. He was not an imitation of anybody.
No, he wasn't an imitation, that's what I'm saying.
He was influenced by people, but he was him. Love him, hate him, good or bad, however you view him.
But he was pinpointed because of the colour of his skin, though.
I definitely think that there are people that I've spoken to who'll be like, oh, I hate hip-hop, but I love Eminem. And I think there's something interesting going on there. I also think that you couldn't have had an MC of a different race, really, coming out talking about doing those things to their mother and being, or anything else, being so embraced by the United States the way he was and by the world. I don't think it would be possible because it would be viewed as too much of a threat, in my opinion. But the fact still remains that he was the exception to the rule. When he came out, it changed the way the industry thought. All of a sudden, they wanted to sign white rappers. They were staying away from white rappers before that.
And that's with the UK scene right now.
Well, it's with just the industries in general. We are the artists, so it's on us to push things forward, because they're not going to push things forward.
So talking about A&Rs, executives and labels, you're independent.
I am, 1,000,000%.
And you're happy to be independent?
Yeah,
you don't want to be signed?
I don't want the function of my music to make a very rich person a lot richer. I think that would go against what I believe in and my politics. I do not want to empower the powerful. I want to empower the powerless. And I think that if you look back at all of the revolutionary voices in hip-hop, with the exception of one or two, have been co-opted and appropriated by people who have interests which go against theirs in every single way. I'm not going to sit down with somebody who A, doesn't respect my politics, doesn't respect me as a human being, and just wants to exploit me.
And just wants to spend money with you, basically.
I mean, we have to question why it is in the music industry that you have people that don't make music, can't make music, who have made huge amounts of money off of people that do make music. What's the difference between you and this other human being? What's the difference? You can make the music, he can't make the music. So why do you need him to sell it?
Because he came up with the formula.
Of what?
That works.
No, he didn't. You did. Because you are the music.
But you put your faith in that person because they made you think that they're going to take you further.
But you don't need anyone to take you further.
But that's because people don't believe that, though. That's what they think, that these people make them believe that they can take on further. Exactly.
The difference is they need us.
Exactly.
They would have nothing without the workforce. And we are the workforce. Not only are we the workforce, we are the talent. We are the... If you're smart and intelligent enough to make music that other people like, then you're smart and intelligent enough to sell it.
So how about if you come up with a label?
Yeah.
You have a label, which is not about...
Well, I do. I release my own music.
Okay. So tell us about that.
I just sell my own music, Mesopotamian music. That's
but what if people have the same beliefs as you, is what I'm saying, and they, you know, everything you've just said they agree with, and they don't want to put money in someone else's pocket. They want to come to you, and you have this label, and you can help them put their music out there.
If they were a friend of mine,
okay.
If they were, no, in fact, in general, I don't want them to feel like they have to They need me to stand.
They should do it themselves. That's what you're saying.
I will tell them everything I know. However successful or unsuccessful I am or have been, I will give them all the advice I can give them and say this is how you should do it. Because I'm not interested in you know. People should be able to stand on their own feet. And that, if I was then to have the politics that I have, and then be signed to this big major label, who ultimately, if we're honest about it, there's companies that pretty much, they're close to each other. If we're talking about the people that own the oil companies, we're talking about the people that own the arms companies, these are the same people that own the music of the world. It's the same people, man. Vivendi, look up a company called Vivendi, and it will tell you a lot about the music industry. The same people that have monopolized pretty much every other natural resource in the world. It's not a surprise that they're the same people that monopolize the music industry.
So obviously,
it's not rocket science.
I have a young audience watching this, and there's rappers and aspiring rappers and songwriters. And what advice would you give to them?
I would say, be you 1,000,000%. Never feel inferior. Like what you are, whether it's good, bad, ugly, happy, sad, it's you. And you are the wealth. You are the most natural resource in the world, and you don't need to imitate anybody else to be successful or to feel good about yourself. Just be happy with who you are. That's what I would say.
I really loved, because you have such a positive outlook on life, and you're really, all about believing in yourself. But sometimes, like when you're doing something and you're trying to achieve something, it's really difficult, the journey, because you have so many doors closed and so many people saying, no, you can't do it. That's not the way to do it. What keeps you going?
The complete belief in my convictions. I believe so strongly in what I believe that I can't allow anybody to knock that off. And also it gets to the point where you don't have a choice. That's the point you need to reach, when you don't have a choice of going and knocking on those doors, because they don't even want you, man. They don't even want you. Like, aside from in the music industry, my perspective in this world as somebody who's slap bang in the middle. I'm of mixed descent. I'm not British, and it's like I'm both but neither, in terms of being Arab and British. That's not a perspective that people are used to. It's not a perspective people are comfortable with. It's not a perspective that at this particular time in history, people even necessarily, we're taught that people don't want to hear that. But it's me. And so I have to be me. I can't just pretend that I'm someone else and try and pass.
Yeah, but if you pretend to be something else or someone else, your pretense will come across in your music, and it just wouldn't look right.
Yeah, but I mean, it
wouldn't sound right.
I couldn't function. I couldn't function as sort of believing something else was so superior to me that I had to pretend I was like it or emulate it. I have to give me to the world. And ultimately, I think that we must always strive through everything, regardless of music, regardless of anything else, we must always strive for equality as human beings. Because this is a problem in the world today. We don't live in a world where there is equality. If there was equality, the world would not be how it is. What natural resources do they have in this country? Do they have gold? Do they have oil? Do they have diamonds? They don't have it in this country. Go to where they do have oil, gold and diamonds, and you will see the type of poverty that people here wouldn't even ever dream existed. And we've seen it. So this is the problem with the world. And we have to, as individuals, attempt to make the world a better place.
Also with the younger generation though, have you, I don't know, like I've noticed that everyone wants to be the next star.
Well, this is not good. This is not good. I got a message from one guy who said, you need to make me a star.
So this is what I don't understand. Everyone wants to be a star. They don't, but the thing is, no one knows what they want to do, but everyone wants to be famous.
You see, and you know why this is? This goes back to exactly what I said in the beginning of the interview. I said, we've been taught to worship celebrities. This is why. This is why.
So for those youngsters that want to be famous and they don't know what they want to be famous for, what would you say to them?
I would say, don't worship the face on your TV screen, because 9 times out of 10, that person is more screwed up than you. We have a symptom of this sort of celebrity culture on steroids that we live in now, where people are completely fantasizing and inventing the reality that the celebrities they worship live in. It's not good. Because that person, like I say, 9 times out of 10 is probably not as happy with their life as you are. So don't feel the need to place that person above yourself.
Because what you see is not always the case, basically.
Exactly.
There's always another story behind closed doors.
Exactly.
So let's go back to the music.
Okay.
So, recent stuff, tell us.
Yeah.
Abomination.
Yes.
Was that banned on TV?
Basically, we sent it in and they just said they wouldn't play it. So.
Did they give you a reason? Is it because of the name?
Yes, because of the name, but I think the person that really looked at it and sort of was forefront in decision making probably disagreed with it. They just disagreed with what I was saying. But the point I was trying to make in the song wasn't, I didn't want to focus so much on the individual, because that's not what the song is about. The song is about examining the United States' role in the world.
But you see,
it shouldn't be controversial.
You see, that's it though. People haven't gone and listened to what you're saying. They've gone with the title. If the title says abomination, that's...
Well, if you're the president of this country that has estimated 1,000 military bases worldwide, from Japan to Colombia to Hawaii to England, you are representing that country worldwide. You have taken that job. You have who you have in his administration. The names I reeled through on the song. The countries which have had to deal with US foreign policy since 1945 are listed at the beginning. Governments who have been constantly meddled with since 1945 have been listed at the beginning of the song. The song is an examination of the United States' role in the world. And it's not a voice which is ever heard, especially through hip-hop. It's rare that you hear somebody actually question the supremacy of this place.
So when they send you that back and they say that we're not going to play it, what goes through your head? I mean, I'm still going to carry on.
Yeah, exactly. I think that at the end of the day, I don't mind. Like,
see, this is why this guy is so inspiring, because he's like, you know what, they said no, but I'm still going to try.
Well, at the end of the day, the way I feel is that it's almost hit 500,000 views on YouTube now. Now, the great thing about the time we live in is that you do not need these people who have monopolized for so long, for so many years, certain powers that be and certain interests have monopolized our media. They've said, no, this does exist, no, this doesn't exist. No, this does exist. No. If it was down to those people, I wouldn't exist. Let alone me as an artist or my fan base. I wouldn't even exist. My voice wouldn't exist. It does exist. It's out there. People can access it, and people will access it. You know? So that's the thing. There's that one, and then there's terrorist as well, which I wouldn't even dream of sending to any of these channels. But for instance, that one got something like 200,000 hits in the first 2 or 3 days. So
doesn't that go to show, do you really need to send it to TV channels if it's getting, that many hits on?
Well, because also more people use the internet than watch TV these days. And it's increasing every single day. The radio and the TV are becoming less and less influential.
That's true.
Because people can just go on the internet and say, well, this is what I want to look at, and they find whatever it is they want to look at on the internet. So why would they use the TV, you know?
Okay, also, what's happening with Poisonous Poets?
Everybody's doing their own thing, really. Everyone's doing their own stuff.
Are we going to hear some more stuff from...
I would love to say yes, but who knows?
Who knows what's going to happen?
Who knows?
Message for all those Lowkey fans watching.
I'll just say thank you very much for supporting, as has been shown through this interview. If I didn't have the supporters that I have and the type of supporters that I don't like using the word fans, because
I'm not gonna lie, I have had a lot of people email me, because you know when we first spoke over Twitter, and then obviously people follow you and they follow me, and then they were like, Lowkey, is it coming on the show? No, when's it coming? So they have emailed me, they're like, when's this happening? I'm like, soon, it's happening soon.
Thank you very much.
So hence why I was like always calling you up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever want to refer to people that support me as fans, because I think that plays into the whole thing. Because I'm not special. I'm not any more special than you. There's nothing more. I don't have anything you don't have, and that's the important thing for people to like. I fight not to be relegated below anyone else, because I'm not comfortable being relegated below anyone else. But using the same mentality, how could I want to be elevated above anyone? Don't relegate me or elevate me, because I'm not comfortable in either of those positions. That's the bottom line. But thank you so much for the support, and really and truly, like I say, the supporters, the difference between, you can have industry support and it won't buy you a fan base. All the industry support in the world can't buy you a fan base. But a fan base can eventually force the industry to want to get involved with what you do. And I'm blessed to have people that, you know, support me a lot. So thank you.
You have a very big following.
It's a huge blessing, man. It's a huge blessing. And it's completely organic. It's completely organic.
Well, thank you for taking time out to talk to me right here on the mixtape. There you go, guys. Lowkey. Peace.